Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next session of EPM Chronicles and Confessions. We have Martin Moser here with us. Martin, please could you introduce yourself and your career journey?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for inviting me, Tim. Thanks for being part here. So my name is Martin Moser, based in Switzerland, working for Tagetik, which is part of Waters Kluwer. My career has been always on the edge between finance and IT, which was at that time, I think, more or less EPM. I covered several vendors. This is also when we met over time now. 7 years in Tagetik and currently looking after our partners alliances in EMEA. So great to be here.
Thank you so much. So when you explain your job role to your family or outsiders to your industry, have you had some humorous misconceptions of what you actually do?
Well, when trying to explain like a 5-year-old to another 5-year-old what I do, I always say I work in sales, which is the most easy way to do it. Maybe it's not a humorous misconception, but maybe also a philosophical point. It's like very often I think people, and this is purely my view, but people forget an important part in the EPM equation. So of course the technology is important, the process is important, capturing all the data, having data for your decision making, and it should be fact-based, but in the end it's always human beings making these decisions, and a lot of things which you have in EPM for sure you need, but you cannot put it in a system. And I think one good example, and I haven't seen a system that can beat, let's say, very good people working in budgeting and planning, FP&A. If you compare their forecasts manually done with maybe also AI-supported systems, at the moment it's hard to beat the people. And I guess the people in FP&A, they can hardly write down why they do these forecasts and planning. So for me, it's like maybe not so humorous, but more philosophical point. I think we shouldn't forget to make people part of the whole EPM journey and equation.
So what has been your biggest challenge in EPM and the solutions you did for this?
I was listening to a podcast you did recently, and your guest, he mentioned actually the resistance of change and changing. And I think this is also what I'm perceiving. And maybe a short story, you may know it. It's about elephants. And when elephants are very small, you can put them on a leash in the garden. And because they are on this leash, they can't walk away. When they're growing up, they don't realize the potential they have and the power, and they are still on the same leash in the same garden, and they just don't walk away because they don't realize now they have changed. And this for me is a nice picture. People very often don't realize that they have changed, the environment has changed, and there's a way to move away. There's not an opportunity, but there's potential to move away. Why I'm saying this? Speaking with partners, also with customers, prospects, very often that they still focus on what they have done in the past and try to translate this also into the future. And for me, it's trying to opening their eyes to see things differently, and also what we have done in the past, the activities. I think it's something very new, and I guess you and myself, we realized it's not so easy to make people aware, hey, there's another way, a different way. I don't say better, but there are different ways to do things. So that's, I would say, my daily challenge in the EPM world.
Fantastic. So could you share us a success story that you've had in your career or EPM?
I had to think a lot about this question in advance, I have to admit. For me, it's really the biggest success. It's every time I'm working with partners. The reason is I'm learning so much every day, and I'm really impressed by the engagement, the knowledge, the skills, and be it big alliance partners, boutique partners, also, let's say, the single professionals that are out there in the market, the passion and the view and the experience they bring, this is for me every time astonishing. And this, to be honest, that's the biggest success every time, dealing with them every time, winning together, losing together. Still, for me, it's like, for me personally, it's always a success dealing with these great people and professional people.
So what's the most rewarding part of your career?
That's the next thing where I was thinking a lot. So I would say is every day to be challenged by customers, by partners, also having, let's say, the right to challenge prospects, customers, to have this kind really of intense discussions. I think that's the most rewarding thing, really. Again, I'm back in this learning piece, diving into different industries, different situations. That's something I really appreciate. And I'm grateful to have this opportunity also, that I have the opportunity that big organizations open the door and we can have this kind of discussion. So that's definitely very rewarding.
Is there any funny moments you can share with the audience in terms of your career?
I guess the most, for me, impressive one was when I started my career, I was a consultant and we were implementing Hyperion, HFM, which is, as you know, at least for me, it was not so easy. So we were on a project and the project team was really great. It was the controller, the head of accounting, and the CFO was a very demanding person. And he put a lot of pressure also on the team, on the timelines. And one day I remember we were at the customer on site, of course, sitting in the office and waiting for the customer, waiting for the project manager. And he didn't arrive. And it was 9 o'clock, it was 10 o'clock. Then we called him and he said, no, I will not come anymore because I'm so sick of this pressure and the being bashed by my boss. And for us, it was a big issue because we were consultants. We had also to deliver. So after a discussion, we found out where he's living. And we bought some flowers and we bought some chocolates. And we went over to the customer and rang the bell and really discussed, I think, an hour with him to come back. And it was more being a therapist in the end than a consultant, a Hyperion consultant. But indeed, that was quite challenging next to the job we had to do anyway with Hyperion.
Sure. So what's the inspiration for joining your current company? And I know people do move quite a lot, but you stayed in your company for a couple of years. But what's been the inspiration?
I think in the beginning when I joined, it was we were quite new to the market. So before I joined, I was with another vendor and I even haven't heard about this brand, Tagetik. And then I realized, oh, that's something where I can be part of creating a new player in the market, which is, from time to time you have the chance to be part of it. But building this brand, building this product, building the solution, being part of this was definitely a point for me to join and to stay in the company. It's really the culture. So the Italians, which are, I would say in the beginning, I thought, well, Italy and accounting. But in the end, they invented accounting. So, and they show it every day, the passion. This is what I like, and this is why I stay.
Sure. As you know, the industry we are in is very competitive. A lot of players, vendors, consultancies, even professionals. How do you stay updated with the trends, with information, with the knowledge?
It's with your WhatsApp groups, Tim, and all your social media activities. No, just kidding. Indeed, you're giving a lot of, let's say, inspiration to me, because I'm following you on various channels, also now here. And the people, the information I'm getting from there definitely is one part. The other thing is really, we are a global organization. I'm learning every day with our partners, from our customers. I just got this back from a discussion with a customer who pointed me to a new solution which is out there, which is well known, but I haven't heard of it. So I would say that's really most from the people. And of course, I mean, yeah, the internet is big, but keeping on top, it's more really from people, from discussions.
Fantastic. So, we are keen to bring new people into this industry, but also people to learn. What's your advice to novices or beginners or people looking at this industry?
So for me, it took a while to completely understand EPM. In the beginning, it was like, yeah, I joined. At that time, it was Cognos. That was my first step into the world of EPM. And it took me a while, to be honest, to fully understand what it means. Coming from the audit side, coming from financial consolidation, that helped me a lot. And then adding around this, so my recommendation would be start and become very good in one area, in one tiny area, bigger area, and then add information. So that helped me a lot, because I understood financial consolidation, reporting, disclosure. And from there, I grew into the world of FP&A, and then later on, lease accounting, solvency, IFRS 17, these things. But without one core topic, it's very hard, and because then you are, let's say, you know everything, but only a little bit.
Fantastic. So the industry is evolving, and things are changing. What do you foresee in the next 5 years as the future in terms of the industry?
Well, looking in this magic ball, what I can see is that the different borders between the departments, they're becoming kind of blurry. Still the people, and we are back to what I said in the beginning, and that the people do not really want, let's say, that these borders disappear. They don't want always transparency across the organization. But I think looking also at the big projects, transformation projects, business transformation, finance transformation, for me, that's the way. Will it happen in the next 5 years? Probably not. But in the next 10, 15 years, I think the boundaries will somehow disappear, and EPM will become really, as the name says, an enterprise performance management across everything, which I think could be a nice vision to come.
Thank you. That's a great insight into your career and chronicles. Thank you so much, and talk to you soon, Martin.
Thanks, Tim. Thank you. All the best.